It's been 40 years since a deadly F5 tornado hit the town of Barneveld, leaving a trail of destruction nearly 40 miles long. One of the factors that made the storm so dangerous was how late it struck, nearly 1 o'clock in the morning, catching most residents at home in bed. Tonight at 10, News 8 Now Chief Meteorologist Greg Barnhart travels to Barneveld to see how the town has recovered and hear from those who remember that terrible Friday in 1984. Greg, thank you for being here with us this morning.
Not a problem.
So this is a story that hits quite close to home for you. What can you tell us about that, and what can we expect tonight?
Well, it did. I was 7 years old when it actually happened. I was living about 50 miles north of it, so I don't remember it. I was asleep, obviously, at 1 o'clock in the morning, being that old, but it was stormy conditions that night. And yeah, I woke up realizing later on that the tornado had come through Barneveld. And unfortunately, when we go to Madison, we go through Black Earth, which is northeast of it, and that's where it kind of hit there a little bit. So we did see some damage there at the time, but I had no recollection of what went on at Barneveld until we actually went down there and saw it. But yeah, it does hit close to home, because I do remember that somewhat that night and that day.
Yeah, as many people do, I'm sure. So how has the technology changed? You know, it's been several years. What's different now?
Well, obviously back then you had no cell phones, no phones. TV stations like this actually went off the air. Even rural radio stations went off the air at 10:30 or even later. So you had no way of getting communication besides a tornado siren. So that all vastly has changed since 1984. So that's the positive. You have cell phones, all that technology and radar. We did not have Doppler back then. We had this old WSR radar that you really couldn't see much from it. So technology has improved, communication has improved, modeling has improved, everything has improved. So you got a lot more advanced warning, and also the preparedness too. We didn't prepare much back then for this type of event, and even Barneveld in the story, you'll hear that, wasn't really prepared for such a thing. So that all has improved. So that is the positive on it. Fortunately, like I said, when it hits at 1 o'clock in the morning, we're lucky that only 9 died, because it very well could have easily been much more given the time and the scope of that tornado.
All right, well, yeah, we'll look for your full story tonight at 10. Thanks so much for being with us here this morning.